Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the gaming tier of Patreon, where we discuss all things news related to the gaming industry, and sometimes I talk about things that I'm really excited about. So, today we're going to cover a couple of different topics just very quickly. I'll try to keep this as short as possible, but most of you know me by now. None of these videos are ever that short. So, we're just going to hop on into it. So, the first thing is an upcoming board game. This is a Kickstarter for a new Monster Hunter World board game. So, gather your party, grab your massive weapon, and embark on cooperative quests in an open world where your choices matter. Armed with your attack cards and your wits, dive into battle with massive monsters, making quick strategic decisions and honing your hunting skills with every hard-won piece of monster loot. And I gotta say, I came across this by accident. Someone saw this Kickstarter page and linked it, and I was like, oh, this could be a lot of fun. 1 to 4 players. Look at these minis. I'm curious to see if you're gonna be able to paint your own mini, sort of a la Warhammer style. But some of these look really fucking good. And there are Palico cards. Oh my god, I need to know how this works. Like, this looks so good, guys. You have no idea. This is amazing. For those of you that play Monster Hunter, this is actually really exciting. Holy shit. The Jaggers, I am immortalized in this game. Oh, look at the Rathalos. That is cool as shit. But anyways, Steamforged Game Limited creates epic tabletop games based on original licensed IP. Past projects include the official version of Dark Souls, Horizon Zero Dawn, Ni no Kuni 2, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, as well as the upcoming Monster Hunter World board game. So they've got, they've got this in the bag as far as I'm concerned. Like, they've already got some good IPs under their belt, so it will not be too difficult for them to make this a very viable board game, and I am super stoked about that. So I just wanted to bring your attention to this Kickstarter page because this looks amazing, and look at that. They've people want this game. That's 3 million, and there's 6 days left on this project. So yeah, get on it if you want it. This is extremely exciting. So that is the first thing. Second, in gaming news, Xbox has decided to open up online multiplayer for free to play games, unlocking starting as of a couple of days ago. So, today we are sharing more details on our plans to make online multiplayer in free to play games available on Xbox without an Xbox Live Gold membership. As part of listening to your feedback, this change will take place starting today, and all Xbox players will be able to access online multiplayer at no charge for a library of over 50 free to play games that support online multiplayer. So the full list is available on Xbox.com, but some of them are listed down here. There's Apex Legend, there's Crackdown, there's Warzone, which are very popular. Dauntless, Destiny 2 is on there. Dungeon Defenders 2 is a great free-to-play game, by the way. You can get it on Steam as well. Obviously your Fortnite, Hyperscape, all of these things. Neverwinter Outriders, the demo, Path of Exile, which is also free to play, Phantasy Star Online, Rocket League, Roblox for the younger generation. Rogue Company is a fantastic game. We previewed it on Chow Gear. Definitely check that out. Warframe is on there, also free to play. Terra, Star Trek Online, Smite. There are fantastic games on this list, but one of them sort of surprised me, so I'm gonna pop off a little bit. Darren Project is on this list. Darren Project is a battle royale where you have your individual players, and one of those players are going to be put in the role of like the director, and the director is the one that's going to give buffs or close down sections of the map to force the battle royale to happen. And it's done in such a way that I actually really like. It's one of the few battle royale games that I actually enjoy, and I did speak to the developers while I was at DreamHack in Montreal. They were like, hey, sit down and try our game. And they're like, this is a battle royale game. And I'm like, oh god, I suck at these games, like, massively. I had a great time with the experience, and then I talked to the game devs, and I'm like, you know what? I actually really enjoy this game, and I'm like, I review games, I do press releases, and this isn't normally a game that I would have picked up just based on the fact that it's Battle Royale. But this, like, after playing it for a couple of rounds, I actually really like this. And the developer said to me that I also don't like Battle Royale games, so I tried to create a Battle Royale game that I would enjoy. And he managed to appeal to people like me who generally do not play this style of game. And I thought it was really interesting because part of it is sort of survival in that, like, you're fighting the cold, so you gotta keep yourself warm, so you gotta like farm for some wood and set up a fire. But if you set up a fire to heat up, it also means that other players can find where you are. And I thought it was a really unique concept to do that. But now the reason I pointed this out is that this is interesting to me is because I had come across, press releases like this. I had even written about it in Jaggy's Corner, where Battle Royale shooter Darwin Project shutting down. The Life of Darwin Project is coming to an end. This was in May of last year. Scavengers Studios has announced that it's ceasing development on the Battle Royale shooter. The game's April update will be its last for the foreseeable future, but servers will remain online at least until the end of the year. So I assumed that by the time we hit the end of 2020 that you would no longer be able to play Darwin Project. And they talked about it in a blog post saying farewell because there was shrinking player base. Other Battle Royale games were much more popular and much more exciting for people, and there just wasn't enough of a base for them to keep supporting this game. And so I had assumed that even though I have Darwin Project in my Steam game list, that I wouldn't be able to play it. So while I was prepping for this video, I went and looked things up. They had released on my birthday, incidentally. I don't know how I missed this. They only shut down some of the servers, and the following servers will be consolidated. So there obviously are not any tournaments continuing with the game. There does not appear to be a sequel for the game. They are not willing to sell the IP, which is also kind of interesting for the FAQs, but I guess it makes sense. Certain fans might want to take up the mantle. They kept the Discord server open for the community, but it's not monitored. And, they're working on Season, which was revealed earlier in the year to be an interesting sort of story-based game that I'm kind of looking forward to. But then I also looked at the Twitter account. The time has come that we say goodbye to 4 regions you can still play in EU Central and US East. So thank you everyone for your continual support of Darwin. Keep cutting down the competition for us. And this was early January. So the game is still going, which is exciting to see. So I might actually, hop into Darwin Project a little bit later just to see, are there still enough players to sort of move forward with a couple of matches? Because I would love to get like a few more screenshots and be able to really show you guys like what this game is like. Maybe I'll do a video specific to it, because again, it is one of the extremely few battle royale games that I really liked because it had a different mechanic. It had a different. So that is what I was going to say for, things coming up, the Monster Hunter board game and multiplayer for Xbox, which is great. And now we're going to get into the rest of the news for the week, of which there is a bunch of it. Earlier in the week, I came across a very interesting article because of Moderation Station. And I haven't fully read the entire thing, but I certainly wanted to show you guys what I came across and some stuff that I found kind of interesting. So, here's the article: Politics, Gaming Culture, and Content Moderation on Twitch. And this is on the ADL website. And they have a picture of Among Us for a specific reason. And that reason, is talking about the last couple of people, big celebrity names, big people, coming into Twitch to play Among Us, and then realizing how the Twitch culture is very different than what people previously expected. So, of course, we saw this with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I'm sorry, I don't know how to properly say that. But anyway, she's a Democrat of New York, and popular video game streamers such as Hassan Abi and Pokimane were, trying to be positive and inclusive with their gaming experiences and whatnot. And what I wanted to talk about was in this paragraph, we analyzed why these four events were positive and inclusive, while at other times public figures, including those involved here, are so often subjected to outpourings of hate on the same and other social media platforms. We found that certain aspects of Twitch, when used effectively, can make its spaces more resilient against harassment than other platforms. For example, text messages and Twitch chat are ephemeral. They cannot be engaged with individually like content on platforms like Facebook, where options to like and reply to specific comments appear even on comments in live streaming video. I hate to break it to the writers of this article, but you can actually reply to individual messages or tag the person directly. That was instituted a few months back or something like that. It's been around Twitch for a bit of time. Clearly they didn't do their research. Just saying. Anyways, other factors appear to be the extensive and customizable suite of tools Twitch provides to community moderators to address hate. However, this suite is not consistent across Twitch, as the problems that plague a recent Twitch event hosted by comedian Jimmy Fallon on April 6 shows. And even platform announcement events hosted by Twitch itself have turned into spaces full of hate and harassment. And I wanted to talk about this specifically because I found out that Jimmy Fallon was going to be doing an Among Us stream, that they were raising money for a charity, and that they were just doing it for that stream. They had Victoria Tran on the stream as well, and they had a bunch of prominent people, both celebrities and celebrities in the Twitch space, together to play Among Us, to have a good time, and to raise money for this charity. And it was a great cause, and it was a great idea, but also for the announcement of being told that this was going to be a thing on Twitch, I don't think that they prepped properly. I was in the stream live when Jimmy Fallon was there with all of these celebrities playing Among Us, and it was a great, fun experience for, what they were doing, and a great cause, but I ignored the chat. honest to God, as a person that moderates over 50 channels on Twitch, many of them, yes, are admittedly small, but I've also had my experience with larger channels. And one of the things I notice immediately when I walk in is, are there moderators doing anything about the chat? And I looked in the viewer list and found that they didn't have any moderators. And I feel like part of that was so that they wouldn't have to hire anybody for a one-time event, that they wouldn't have to try and figure out like how to moderate on Twitch in such a short period of time, even though there are a lot of good tools that Twitch has instituted to make moderation much easier for anybody who starts to moderate a Twitch chat today. It didn't used to be that way. It used to be much harder to moderate. But, you know, I wanted to sort of mention this because they're talking about how while Twitch has a lot of options, other places like YouTube, while it has moderation, the moderation on YouTube, I'm sorry, is absolute garbage. I've done it, I've looked into it. It is not fun to moderate there. They're just not set up properly to do it. And so I do not moderate live streams for the most part on YouTube because their system is just abysmal and just not to where it could be. And with Facebook Gaming, I have zero experience moderating there, but I can't imagine it being any better either. There's something to be said for making sure that you have people who are going to prevent as much harassment and hate speech as possible, but no matter how many blocks you put in, people are extremely internet savvy and they will find every possible way to get around every possible block that you have, which includes making multiple different accounts and going in there, saying something, getting banned, make another account, go back in there, say another hateful thing. And it looks like multiple people are doing something when it's just one or two people, or it's a bot and it's designed to do that. And so for as much as moderation is important, there's certainly portions of it that make it extremely difficult. And I don't know that Jimmy Fallon and the people who thought about doing this charity live event were really prepared and were really researching Twitch before going into doing this event. So when they're talking about, certain places having a lot of harassment and hate speech on Twitch, some celebrities who have taken to the Twitch universe, have learned to sort of adapt and research and look at things where other people just don't do the same thing. And then they're wondering, why is the community full of, all of these awful comments, and that moderation isn't necessarily where it needs to be. Now, as I said, I haven't read the full article, so I'm going to keep reading it. I've heard from people that they talk about moderation in a good light, which is awesome, because I do feel that moderation is still required over top of just having bots. You need people there to understand context. Context is 100% the most important thing when it comes to moderation, and being able to set yourself aside for certain situations is equally important. If you're a moderator for a stream that allows for political discussion, you need to make sure that your moderators understand that. And even if people are talking about political beliefs that they themselves do not have, that they understand that people are submitting their thoughts, their opinions in a respectful and proper manner. That is more important, to be able to sort of set yourself to the side a little bit as a moderator. And it's probably one of the hardest things to do as a moderator, which is something I could go on to talk about at length, because I've been a Twitch moderator for 8 years or something like that, 8 or 9 years. It's been a long time. Anyways, but yesterday I came across a thread by Anna Prosser, who used to work for Twitch. Has this entire thing. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I'm certainly going to link it. But she said, as a company and a community, Twitch would benefit greatly by rethinking who qualifies as a creator and what contributions they should incentivize for people who use their platform. A threat. And so she talks about, I worked at Twitch for 5 years, during which I also streamed as a partner and worked consistently as an on-camera host in the gaming world. I am now a full-time freelancer who loves Twitch and wants to keep investing in it creatively, perpetuating a real streamer / not real streamer binary. Twitch currently evaluates creators based on limited analytics that don't tell the full story of how valuable they actually are to Twitch's broader ecosystem and community. Many types of creators that Twitch needs, like producers, hosts and casters, fine art performers, actors, etc., are overlooked in terms of support infrastructure and often excluded from community and incentive programs. Now, I thought this was very interesting because it's also related to, some of the fundamental problems with Twitch, where if you're a content creator on Twitch, they often look at the video gaming portion, which takes up a large portion of the viewership on Twitch. Twitch started as a gaming platform and has since expanded into the creative space, into a just chatting space, into, streams where people like me will occasionally do writing streams. There are a lot of authors that will do edits and critique people's works and help writers get better at their craft. There are artists who will do commissions for people, who will show people their process and the behind the scenes of putting together amazing artwork or emoticons that they get commissioned to do for use on Twitch. You have musicians, you have people like Mike Shinoda, you have Matt Heafy of Trivium, streaming to Twitch because obviously they can't do concerts and stuff like that, so they're using the platform to showcase them producing other content or stuff that isn't already beholden to a publishing label where they need to get copyright licenses, to make sure that nothing is going to get flagged by Audible Magic. And it just goes to show you that Twitch is such a vast place that not only do they have to consider the moderation, but you have to also consider like the sponsorship availability for your creatives and the ability to have support. It's often talked about where the YouTube Rewind videos will use portions of people's videos and showcase these people, but they do it not necessarily with permission, and so sometimes things are included, and if the YouTube Rewind video does not go off very well with the public, then some of those creators that are featured in that video suddenly are not necessarily blacklisted, but sort of frowned upon as though they maybe had a choice. So it just goes to show you that Twitch has a lot of work to do when it comes to moderation, when it comes to the support of its people. But it also shows that the rest of the world, looks at a charity stream put on by Jimmy Fallon and have the whole space turn into a place of hate and harassment is not necessarily the thing you should get out of that. I thought that the event was actually really cool. You got to see Jimmy Fallon have no idea how to play Among Us, but you got to see, them trying to do something really good, but without having enough forethought to consider what the Twitch universe is really like. And I feel like we need to look more at things that can be done better. So while we're going to talk about Twitch, this is a perfect segue into the next sort of tweet that I came across. On Wednesday, April 28th at 1 p.m. Pacific, which I believe is 4 p.m. Eastern, on Twitch, they're going to answer questions about a variety of different things, and I am very curious to see what they're going to talk about, and what is going to be covered, and what we're going to learn from this Let's Chat that they're going to be putting on. And hopefully they will actually listen to the community instead of sitting there saying, we're listening, but we're going to force ads on you, or, whatever their rhetoric has been up until this point. But the number one sort of question I thought was kind of funny is I Am Brandon is a fantastic guy. I've been following him on Twitter for a while, but this other person, Bobby Cactus, saying more transparency when, because ultimately that is an important question to ask, and I think it's a very reasonable question to ask, because there's a lot of things that Twitch does behind the scenes that many of its content creators are not familiar with, and some things you don't need to tell your people, but you need to be able to show, hey, we're working on some things, instead of being extremely tone deaf, which Twitch kind of has been, for certain things leading up to this point. So I'm curious to see what they're going to address, what the community is going to ask, and see what kinds of solutions that they actually come up with after the fact. So if you want to be there on the official Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Twitch, Wednesday, April 28th, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Check it out. I'm going to try and remember and be there. This should be interesting. A couple of other very quick things. A huge deal went through earlier this week. Songtradr acquires music licensing platform for live streamers, Pretzel. I've talked about Pretzel in the past. It is a service that you can use when streaming to have copyright-free music while you're playing video games or just chatting or whatever. Songtradr, the world's largest business-to-business music licensing marketplace, announced today that they have acquired Pretzel, the world's first platform to provide stream-safe music for live streamers. In addition to solving live streaming monetization, Pretzel offers rights holders such as artists and labels exposures to millions of new, highly engaged listeners through live broadcasts. Pretzel marks Songtradr's third acquisition of 2021, further enhancing the company's tech-enabled solutions. Music and gaming has always gone hand in hand, and gamers are some of the most engaged and valuable music fans. The explosive growth of lifestyle and gaming live streams opens up an array of opportunities for artists and our clients. We immediately saw the potential for Pretzel's groundbreaking user experience and rights management technology in our ecosystem, and a clear alignment of vision, values, and culture, says Paul Wiltshire, CEO of Songtradr. Over the last year, Pretzel's monthly recurring revenues have increased over 600%, licensing over 6 million tracks from rights holders and currently providing more than 12,000 hours of music for monetized streams on platforms such as Twitch and YouTube. Pretzel's music catalog is constantly curated and updated by the Pretzel team, creating an at-scale, stream-friendly music solution solution for content creators without them having to worry about DMCA takedowns or content ID strikes. This is massive. Pretzel does have a huge library that I listen to. So depending on the day and depending on the game, I often listen to, Chill Step or Chill Hop, which is actually included as part of Pretzel's library. But they've also got like drum and bass. They've also got an alternative sort of station. Think of it like Spotify, where you can go onto your main page and you can listen to like a radio station of an artist. Or you can go, I feel like listening to metal today. So you're going to click on a metal playlist, and there's going to be a curated sort of Spotify list of songs to listen to and to experience that may not come from artists that you're familiar with. And so it opens up your knowledge of that genre. And with Pretzel, you have a lot of artists that you may or may not know or may have started to learn more about, like Harris Heller. They're providing music and content for people to use while they're streaming so that the streamer doesn't have to sit there and fork out tons of money to get licensing to play the music that they want to listen to. And even then, if you had licensing to listen to the music, there's no guarantee that Twitch would necessarily know about it, because you would have to prove to them that you actually have licensing. But Audible Magic is just simply like a bot or a program that's going to listen for copyrighted music, and then it's going to automatically mute the VODs and take that content down. So this is kind of a huge deal, and I'm really excited to see the future of Pretzel, and I hope that it continues to be free and awesome for streamers. I think the last thing I'm going to cover is something that I was extremely worried about a couple of weeks back, which we did talk about, which is Discord ends acquisition talks with Microsoft. Microsoft's bid to buy Discord is over, for now at least. The Wall Street Journal reported Tuesday that the popular chat startup has ended acquisition talks with the Redmond, Washington tech giant and others after reports surfaced last month that Discord was in final negotiations about a sale for at least $10 billion. A potential deal could be rekindled in the future, Wall Street Journal reported. Microsoft last week announced its $19.7 billion deal to buy Nuance Communications and completed a $7.5 billion acquisition of ZeniMax Media this year. It has reportedly shown interest in Pinterest and made a bid for TikTok last fall. This is, in my opinion, good that Microsoft does not have Discord. A lot of gamers were extremely concerned about what would happen and if Discord was going to go by the way of the dodo and end up like Skype and just basically destroyed, and everybody jumped ship off of Skype. And at the time of seeing the reports that Discord could end up with Microsoft worried me enough that myself and a bunch of other people went looking for alternatives to Discord and came across Guilded.gg. For all of the good that Discord has, there are some things that are embedded in the Guilded platform that I find makes things a lot easier and a lot better to do a variety of different things, and I might still move forward with Guilded in the future anyways. So I am glad that they didn't go with Microsoft, and I hope that, Discord doesn't fall by the wayside because they're still struggling with monetization. For gamers, I don't feel like it's a good option yet. The fact that Xbox, is making sure that you don't have to have a gold membership to play free-to-play games is good, and it's a step in the right direction as they're trying to make things more available for gamers. But I still don't have a lot of faith when it comes to the connectivity that Microsoft has had in the past and some of their practices. And I feel like while it would do a lot of good for Discord, I feel like it will also do a lot of bad. That's all I've got for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit longer because I had a lot to cover, but as always, you can follow me on Twitch, on Twitter, on Patreon. I have a Discord server. You can also find any of my works on chalgear.com and streamersquare.com. I'm very excited for the future, and I hope that you guys have a fantastic day. And I will see you in the next video.